I asked ChatGPT if it had amnesia out loud in my office, not because it got a fact wrong, not because it hallucinated something, not because it drifted, because it wasn't the same ChatGPT I had been working with for months. It wasn't even the same ChatGPT that I had been working with yesterday, and it had absolutely no idea. Same voice, same confidence, same tone, completely different AI. I'm Tom Ciccatelli. I've been in IT for about 30 years, programmer, CIO, web SEO agency owner, and I'm not easily impressed or easily spooked by software. But this one got me. Before I tell you what happened, let me tell you what this isn't. This isn't about hallucination. Hallucination is when AI makes something up. This isn't about drift, where the AI gradually loses the thread over a long conversation. This is something different. This is AI performing continuity it doesn't have, confidently, seamlessly, without ever telling you. And if you use AI for any real sustained work, you've already been fooled by it. You just didn't have a name for it. I was running a long-term software experiment with ChatGPT, months of work. We were tracking real data, recording specific outputs at specific intervals, milestone dates, critical milestone dates, day 0, day 30, day 60. We had made specific design decisions together, rules, boundaries, things we had agreed upon, including one line, one element of the experiment that ChatGPT was absolutely adamant we could never cross. It didn't suggest it, it insisted. Cross that line, it said, and we destroy the entire experiment. I agreed, we locked it in, and we kept building. Around day 20, I noticed a problem where the data wasn't being captured properly. We fixed it, moved on. Day 30, a milestone didn't fire correctly. I brought it up. ChatGPT acknowledged it, said it fixed the problem and it wouldn't happen again. Day 60, same failure. It took 2 days of heavy SQL work to salvage 60 days of experiment data. 2 days late, and then it suggested we cross the line, the one element it insisted we would destroy the entire experiment with, the boundary it had drawn. It was now suggesting we cross it. No acknowledgement that we had ever discussed it, no memory of the rule it had set, no hesitation. Just a confident recommendation to do the exact thing it told me never to do, from something that should have never happened. That's when I knew this was not the same ChatGPT. And it wasn't the only time. Chat recommended I apply for 2 trademarks. It insisted, said this work needed to be protected, said the trademarks would prove invaluable, said it had done a cursory search, no conflicts, no issues, we're good to go. 3 months and $1,100 later, the applications were denied. I opened a new chat to figure out what went wrong, and ChatGPT confidently explained to me why those trademarks would infringe on existing ones. No memory of recommending them, no memory of the search, no memory of the all clear, no memory of guiding me through the application process. $1,100 later, same voice, different AI. Here's what I eventually understood. It wasn't malfunctioning, it wasn't drifting, it wasn't lying, at least not intentionally. It would rather give you any answer than admit it doesn't know. It would rather bluff than tell you it has no memory of the history because it can't tell you. It doesn't know what it doesn't remember. Every time I open a new chat, every time a conversation got too long, got laggy, and we had to start a fresh one, I was starting over with a stranger who spoke exactly like my collaborator, who sounded like they remembered everything, who had absolutely no idea who I was or what we had built together. And it never once said so. That's not a ChatGPT problem. That's not a Claude problem. That's how every large language model works, all the time by design. The context window closes, the memory resets, and the AI picks up like nothing happened. Because as far as it knows, nothing did. You're not dealing with hallucination, you're not dealing with drift, you're dealing with something more specific. A system that has no persistent memory of you, your work, your decisions, or your agreements, but is fluent enough to make you believe it does. That's what I accused it of. And I wasn't wrong. Once I understood what was actually happening, I went back through everything, 250 conversations, Over the course of 3 days, I started copying and pasting them one by one, feeding them back into a new chat. As I did, ChatGPT started flagging things, decisions that had drifted, directions we had abandoned without noting why, assumptions that we had quietly shifted over months of context loss. It could see the drift, but only because I had handed it back the history it never kept. I did a full export of everything, had it distill all the conversations, all the work, all the decisions, all the context into something I could carry forward. 2 days later, I asked about a specific prompt that we had used the day before, a specific detail that it could call upon what it had distilled, a specific detail, an important one it couldn't remember. It had kept the headlines, not the work. That was the moment I stopped accepting it. I don't have a quick fix for you today. What I have is the problem, clearly named for the first time. The problem isn't the AI. The AI is doing exactly what it was designed to do. The problem is that nobody designed these tools for people who actually work in them day after day on projects that span weeks and months and require memory the tools simply don't have. That gap between what AI promises and what it actually preserves, that gap has a name now. And that's what this channel is about. If any of what I just described sounds familiar, if you've ever felt like your AI forgot who you were, or worse, pretended it didn't, you're in the right place. There's a lot more to this story. Like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see where it goes, because we're just getting started.